Welcome back. Today, we're diving into something pretty intense. Dr. Pankaj Varma's guide to achieving huge, life-altering goals. He lays out 8 rules for a 6-month period of radical focus and self-isolation that he claims can completely, and I mean completely, transform your life. So, let's just start with that quote. Give yourself 6 months and achieve everything. That is a bold, bold statement. But Dr. Varma doesn't present this as some nice suggestion. No. He's throwing down a gauntlet. It's a direct challenge with a massive payoff. And get this, he's not just talking the talk, he's lived it. This is his own timeline. He used this method to become a veterinarian surgeon. He did it again to become a content creator, and is even in one of these cycles right now, planning something he calls massive destruction for 2026. So yeah, this strategy is definitely battle-tested. So, how does this 6-month transformation even start? Well, the first stage is all about setting the scene. It's about creating an environment where deep, radical focus is your only option. And this is where we get into the first 2 rules, which honestly might just be the hardest of them all. This brings us to the first really practical step. You have to sever all your distractions. Dr. Varma says you need to wage a conscious war on the 2 biggest enemies of focus in our modern world, your phone and your social circle. You've got to build your own fortress of solitude. So, rule number 1, your phone has to become your tool, not your tyrant, and that distinction is absolutely critical. You can see the trade-offs right here. You're swapping that mindless, endless scrolling for motivational vlogs. You're ditching distracting content for educational lectures. The whole point is to consciously shift from just passively consuming junk to actively using your phone to fuel your goal. You are in control, not the other way around. And now for rule number 2. And this one's a tough one. He bluntly calls it the no friend zone. Now, that sounds harsh, I know, but the logic is all about preserving your energy. You have to cut off the fake friends, the ones who distract you or just don't get your mission. He says to think of it as a filter. Your true allies, they'll get it. They'll respect the focus, and trust me, they'll still be there in 6 months. Okay, so you've silenced the outside world. Your phone is a tool, your circle is tight. You think that's the hard part, right? Well, nope. Now the real fight begins. The next phase is all about facing that inevitable hardship and winning the war that's raging inside your own mind. And look, Dr. Varma is brutally honest about this part. This process will be painful. Loneliness is going to hit you like a truck. The work will feel impossible some days, and your own mind, with all its doubts, is going to become the single biggest obstacle you have to climb. He even maps out how the pain gets worse. In this first few days, your soul is literally going to scream at you to quit. Then you hit the middle of the journey, and somehow it gets even harder. It becomes this daily, conscious choice you have to make to keep going when every fiber of your being wants to stop. So how on earth do you survive that? Well, that's what the next set of rules are for. Surviving this internal battle takes way more than just willpower. It's not about just gritting your teeth. You need to actively build your mental fortitude. These next rules are all about forging a mindset that is completely and totally unbreakable. Rule number 5 is all about mastering your self-talk. He calls it self-parenting. Whenever your mind starts spiraling with doubt, you have to fight back. Remind yourself of every single hard thing you have ever overcome in your life. The mantra is so simple but so powerful. If I survive that, I can for sure survive this. Okay, rule number 6 is absolutely crucial. You have to burn the boats. You can never, ever have a plan B. The moment you start thinking about a safety net, you're siphoning off precious energy and focus that has to be 100% dedicated to plan A. Your commitment has to be total. And this quote just perfectly nails that mindset, doesn't it? Failure isn't the real enemy here. Failing like a coward is. The point is, if you're going to go down, you go down swinging, having thrown absolutely everything you had at the goal. There's just no room for a half-hearted attempt. Next up, rule number 7 is a massive reality check. He calls it the privilege to break. Dr. Varma's argument is that procrastinating, complaining, or having a breakdown, those are luxuries. If your back is truly against the wall, if you need this to work, then you don't have the privilege to even entertain those thoughts. They are distractions you just can't afford. Okay, so we've built the fortress. We've forged the mind. What's left? Well, finally, the entire process has to be grounded in faith. And this is about having belief in the process itself, and as we're about to see in the final rules, maybe in something even beyond yourself. This brings us to the final 2 rules, which are all about that faith. First, never, ever doubt your own hard work.
You have to trust that relentless effort is the only path and that it will eventually be rewarded. And the other rule, connect with a divine power. He advises a spiritual practice, like chanting, to tap into an inner strength that goes beyond just your own discipline.
And all of that leads to the eighth and final rule, which is maybe the most powerful of all. You cannot lose. The process itself guarantees a victory. I mean, look at this. Outcome 1 is you achieve your specific goal. You win. Awesome. But outcome 2 is that the process itself forges you into this unbreakable person, someone who's disciplined, patient, and fearless. So you either get the prize you wanted, or you become the person who can win any prize in the future. Either way, it's a win.
So you see, this isn't just some productivity hack. It's a fundamental challenge to completely transform not just what you achieve, but who you are at your core. So the final question this leaves you with is a simple one. If your 6 months were to start right now, who would you decide to become?